All right, guys, Tim Loomis and Chris Shores here, owners of White Whale Real Estate, brokerage here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, serving the New Smyrna Beach area. And today we are going to have an exclusive interview with Mr. Richard England of the Hub on Canal. The executive director. So we're super happy to be here. We really want you guys to be able to come check it out. The Hub on Canal is obviously on Canal Street. It's going to be more towards the east end. It's going to be on the corner of Magnolia and Canal, to be exact. Conveniently located right across the street from the brewery. So have a beer, come check out some art. One of the things we really love about the Hub on Canal is that it's just a honeycomb of different rooms with lots of different artists. It's really fun to come check out. They've got great hours of availability as well. So we look forward to seeing you on the other side with Richard England. All right, friends, thank you for joining us. We are currently inside the Hub on Canal. We're with our good friend Richard England here, who is the executive director. And we're happy to be here and to give you guys the inside scoop on the local spotlight. So Richard, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you very much. Thank you for coming on our YouTube channel. And absolutely.
So how long have you been the director, and where do you come from, and how do you fit in? And
I've been here in this role for 5.5 years. I was on the board for about a year before that. At that time, I actually lived in Atlanta, but we had a condo here, and we came here with some regularity, and I did some working from New Smyrna Beach, and that's how I had the time to get onto the board. And then I officially retired at the end of October of 2016 from my career.
Congrats.
Which had nothing whatsoever to do with the art business. I was in the money management business. And I'd been retired 18 whole days when 2 of the 3 founders of the Hub came to my house on a Sunday afternoon and asked me to take over as
you back.
president.
You couldn't stop working. You didn't even make it a full month. But this sounds like
Exactly.
it's a whole lot more relaxing than the money management business for sure.
I'm not so sure.
Okay.
I'm not
you're probably busier now than you were in the money management
I
business.
don't know what I didn't know what I was getting into, but they caught me at a point where I hadn't exactly figured out what I was going to do in retirement, so I was vulnerable to saying yes, and
You were,
I did. And
persuaded.
5.5 years, and I've never worked harder in my life.
I would say so, because this seems like a 7-day-a-week, 24/7 sort of thing, where at least your real job, it was a Monday through Friday, and you could go home on the
cut it
weekends.
off on the weekends.
Yeah,
you have so
it
many
is,
events and stuff.
I joke and I say my job description includes everything that's not on somebody else's. So I fix toilets and sweep the floor sometimes, and change the light bulbs, as well as setting policy, calling donors, all of that kind of good stuff. So practically everything.
Sounds like you and I's job
Yeah.
position.
Sounds like us, yeah. Whatever someone else doesn't do, we take care of the rest of it. So that makes sense.
So, I mean, it definitely shows, though, it seems like you're very passionate about what you're doing and helping the Hub grow. So with that being said, are there objectives or a mission statement for the Hub, and what you're trying to do with it in the community as well?
Yeah, the mission of the Hub has always been, since day one, to make the arts accessible to everybody in the community. New Smyrna Beach had, long before the Hub opened 10 years ago, had a reputation as an arts community, but it was kind of reserved for few. And the 3 ladies who founded the Hub, Sally Mackay, Susan Ellis, and Susan Stern, saw this big opening where all the benefits of the arts, which I think are indisputable, being available, were not really there for most people. And so they dreamed of creating this place, a hub, if you will, where the whole community could come together and experience all different kinds of arts. And they had very broad ambitions about how that would be. It wouldn't just be 2D or 3D art in the gallery space. It would be classes and workshops and performances and big events and all of those sorts of things. And we set off on what I think was a really good direction, and I believe we've lived up to what we were trying to do, and we've continued to grow. Since the Hub opened, we've had around 360,000 people through the front door.
Oh, wow.
In those 10 years.
That's a few.
Yeah.
It is a few.
I'd say, yeah. And you guys have definitely done a great job at it. I mean, you have classes, you feature different artists. Tell us a little bit more about all those.
Okay. In addition to the art gallery space, which is fairly obvious when you walk in the front door, we represent about 65 artists who have their work here. But the other parts you have to discover a little bit more. classes and workshops is a pretty significant operation for us. We have all different forms of art instruction, not surprisingly, but we also have yoga, we have language, we have both Italian and French. I'm looking to get back into the Spanish
That'd be pretty
business
cool, yeah.
in case there's a Spanish teacher out there.
Spanish
like
speakers, drop
give
a
us a
comment
call.
or reach out to us. Yes, we might have a gig for you.
might have a gig for you, exactly. And you know, we do some of those. Oh, there's also a dance class that's going on.
I also
was
saw music. You guys had
Yes.
singing, and
there's
I noticed
there's a
that
ton
before
of music.
too. Yeah.
One of the three
Harmonica,
founders
I think, yeah.
was not a 2D or 3D artist. She was a musical artist, and so we've long had musical events, multiple every month. Some of them are concert formats. We've got something we do every month called Slow Jam, where anybody that wants to, they're mostly amateur art musicians, come in here on the fourth Wednesday of the month and they just gather together and play together. And it's easy to, if you're not fabulous, if there's 10 of you playing the same instrument, it's kind of easy to hide out.
That is, that'd be
and
me.
still
You
get
play,
the
you play
easy
the
jam
chord that you
session
know,
you're
and then
part
you
of.
leave the rest of them out. You just act like you're
Exactly.
strumming and you go with the crowd.
Precisely.
Very cool.
So with that being said, so a lot of events, a lot of workshops, a lot of classes, a lot of great opportunities for people to get out and try and explore new things. So do you have to be a member of the hub, or are these, are they free
You pay per
classes? Do you pay
class,
per
or how does that
class?
work? Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you might not be able to get rid of us now that we know all the things that are going on here. We'll be here for yoga. We'll be here for.
There's very little here that is only for members.
Okay.
So we're open to the broad public. There's a few things, you know, we obviously want to have a benefit to being a member, why somebody wants to be a member in addition to just helping us do what we do, because we are a not-for-profit. But only really there's member preview events. So if we've got some big event happening, we oftentimes will have like a preview that's for members only the night before.
Okay.
But the next day it's open to everybody else. But the classes, the workshops, the musical events, pretty much everything we do is available to everybody.
Great.
That's awesome. Yeah, very
So
interesting.
definitely true to the name, not for profit, and for the community.
Right.
So I know before we started rolling, you were talking to Tim a little bit about the building and the building history itself, and we know that it recently got a facelift as well. Do you mind kind of walking us through that on the history you know about the building and,
Sure,
and what was
sure.
recently done to it?
So this building, which is at 132 Canal, was built in 1910, and it originally was a silent movie theater. And over time, it was several other different things. It was a Rexall drugstore for a long time, I believe in the 40s and the 50s, based on the photos I've seen in the cars that were parked on the street.
That's cool. Yeah.
It was a teen hangout place called the Grotto from about 1965 to the early 70s.
I've heard that
Pool
before.
tables, ping pong tables. There's a rumor, I can't confirm it, that the
Or
Allman
deny.
Brothers played here.
Oh, the
at
Almond
one
Joys.
point.
I've
Okay.
heard of that
Exactly.
rumor too, so enough
that's-
rumors in town, it must be true.
It
Yeah.
must be true. Must
And
be
you've seen
true.
this on the internet, so
Right.
verified.
If you see it online, it's true. Yeah.
And
So
then it was the city's rec department for quite a while.
That's awesome.
And the space was leased out by a software company in the mid '90s called Brintech, and they're the ones that did the interior build out that made it what it appears to be today. And all the things that we have as art studios were offices for the people who worked there. Sometime in the early 2000s, after the internet bubble burst, they got bought by somebody, and Brintech kept a few people here into the early part of the 2000 or the middle 2000s, I should say, 2005 or so, and then they finally closed that down, and the building sat empty until the hub moved in 2012, March 1st, 2012
Wow.
was when we got here. So that was a tough time.
A lot
on
of
Canal
history.
Street.
Yeah.
You know, almost every main street in small and midtown America was not doing very well in 09, 10, 11, etc. But the hub opened, and you know, we'd like to think that we played a role in bringing Canal Street back to.
Yeah.
I
to
agree.
what it is
And you guys have
today.
done a fabulous job within here. Just walking in, when you first come in here, it's just all the artwork and just the design that's in the building is it's definitely eye-catching for sure. And then you also mentioned to me that the wall over here was an actual wall, and you broke it out, and there was
Right.
you said maybe a phone. What you
Yes,
mentioned
yeah,
before
yes.
was that? Yeah.
if you come in the front door, the main door of the hub at 132, you're in what was the silent movie theater. But over time, the space that is the hub and was the hub since the beginning actually went both east and west from that front door. And we have space in both 124 Canal, which is where City Market Bistro is in the front. We have space behind. And then in 120 Canal, we have a classroom. And the bit to the west here of the front door, from the outside, you would never know that it was a separate address. But way back when it was, and according to some old plans we've got of the area, not just the building, the skinny little structure that was to the west of the main lobby space was labeled as the telephone exchange building on those plans. And so sometime in the last 100 years, those walls had openings cut in them for doorways, but I think it's the place where the operators used to connect all the phone calls.
Switchboard.
Very cool.
That would make sense with the Utilities Commission across the street.
I
and
suppose,
everything.
although that was a bank.
I know, that was the... the
Tons of
transitionary
history though, and
period,
what no better place to have the hub on Canal.
Yeah, and when you led in your question, you also mentioned about the outside, which I'd like to touch on. So, before we embarked on the project to redo the outside of the building, I used to say that we lived in the most boring looking building on Canal Street, despite all the creative energy that's going on in here. We had a big black hoop shaped awning that surrounded both the Magnolia Street side as well as the Canal Street side of the building. We took that down and we put a very colorful mural up on the front of the building, and we now have purple awnings. And during the course of all that happening, we had so many people that stopped and talked to Eliza Midget, who was the artist here at the hub, who did the mural out on the front of the building. And she'd get comments like, "What is this place?" They had no idea.
It was walk right by.
Just walk right by it all the time. And so, we also put the words, the hub on Canal, and experience the arts on the top of the building. So we have much less problem with people, A, finding us, and B, knowing roughly at least what goes on inside before they walk
Signage is important.
It is important,
absolutely.
That's why ours stands out so much. We do the same thing, just because if people don't know you're in, they don't know what it is. They just walk right by. But we, I guess I'll speak for. I really like the design you guys did on the outside of the building, the colors, everything. I think it looks really great. So I wouldn't have done any different.
Inside the building now.
Yeah, exactly.
And it matches the staircase too, which I think is kind of cool with the with all that going on.
So would you, because the staircase is beautiful when you come up here to this, what would you call this area?
Mezzanine.
The mezzanine area where we're sitting at. There's a beautiful painted staircase that was designed by some students locally in the area. If you would want to tell us a little bit more about the staircase.
When the software company that had this space put the mezzanine in, they put a nice open staircase, so if you stood at the bottom, you could look through all the treads, the 2.5, 3-inch thick treads. And so we decided, in the nature of wanting to keep the place fun and not stuffy from an art perspective, but fun, we created a design that hung on the undersides of those treads so that if you stood at the bottom, your eye would visually reconnect all the little slices of the piece of art. And we chose a Picasso inspired image because they're a little odd to begin with. And so it's easier to hide any mistakes.
Especially the swooping staircase.
Yeah. And so we had kids from the ESE program at the high school, who we have long since taught art lessons to, who come here every week during the school year, and they painted those 13 strips that are about 4.5 inches high each. And then we put them back, we put them together for them to paint them, and then we took them back apart again and hung them on the undersides of the treads as you go up or down the stairs. And when you stand at the bottom, you see one Picasso image, and it's really cool. The kids didn't really understand what they were painting at the time they were doing it, and they came back here just before school ended in very early June of 2022. And they saw it installed for the first time, and they were pretty excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It
that
was
too.
amazing.
It must have
It was a
been,
beautiful thing.
great for them to see it come together.
We put those pictures on our Facebook page, and it was the most liked, most commented upon, and most shared posting we've ever done
Wow.
on Facebook.
That's awesome. And it must have been not only cool for them to see it come together, but also probably inspirational to them in a lot of ways. Maybe if they weren't exactly interested in art or anything like that, for them to maybe want to do more of it. So that's neat. Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll put a link to that Facebook page so you guys can check that out yourself. It's definitely worth checking out, and just a great way for the Hub on Canal to be able to really connect with the community and just help those community ties.
Even better, you should come in and see it in
Come
person.
in and
Even
see it
better,
in
you should
person.
come in
There
and
we
see it
go.
in person.
Yes, and also since we're plugging things, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our page. We greatly appreciate it. We put out a video every single week. Does the Hub also have a YouTube?
We don't have a YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Where are you at though? You're
We
on
are
Facebook.
on Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram.
Working on Twitter, but we're not there
Okay,
yet.
yeah. Well, most
put it all
important,
down there.
follow them online, but make sure you come in here and see it for yourself because, like I said, it is a great experience to come in here and check out all the artwork and what they've done with the building. So moving on.
Before we end, I think we're getting ready to kind of tie up, and thank you for your time. We appreciate
Yeah.
it. Upcoming events, anything that we should be on the lookout for or don't miss? Or
Yeah, the 2 or 3 things I'd briefly highlight is in September we're doing an event for the first time that we're calling the Fall into Jazz Weekend. And so September 23rd, which is a Friday evening, we'll have a jazz headliner here on that Friday night for a music night. And on Sunday, the 25th of September, we'll actually be closed to the public and have a jazz brunch.
Oh, great.
That will be, those will both be ticketed events.
Okay.
Anybody is able to attend, but keep your eyes peeled for the announcement of the availability.
Because they're going to go quick.
They
You got to get
probably
yourself
gotta
some
pay to play
tickets,
is what it
yeah.
sounds
Just
like.
like the gala that you guys do every year. The
Yes,
tickets go
that's
extremely.
The third one. The second one I mentioned is we're coming up on our, I think it's the 6th annual Chalk It Up Sidewalk Chalk Art Festival, which will be the end of February. But registration will be opening for that in another month and a half or so. So if you're interested in participating in that, watch for that. And then our annual fundraising gala, which will be November 18th at the Brandon Center. The Hub really knows how to put on a party. Last year it was a Celestial Odyssey, so sort of a space-themed event. We had the folks from the planetarium at MOAS in Daytona here to help out with that. It was a pretty cool event.
Yeah.
And this year's event is called Friday Night Fever.
Okay.
So it's going to be a
disco
disco
going,
night,
all
yeah.
right.
Man, I'm upset. I missed the gala last year. I was out of town, but you got to come
I did
to
get
it.
to go, and I can
then
attest, Richard is
yeah.
in fact telling you the truth. It was
It's a good.
fantastic event.
Chris says it's a good party. It was a good party, so I'll leave it at that.
It'll be an amazing
Take my
party.
word for it.
Yeah. And then we'll definitely sign up for the Chalk It Up because we did that the last couple years as
And
well.
it's
So
deceiving.
yeah.
So I know Richard mentioned it's in February is when the actual event is, and we're still sitting here in July, but it is a major event and it closes out quickly. So please don't let it slip you by and think that you're going to have time to actually still make your spot, because you won't. I think we tried to do it last year at last minute and we didn't even get in.
Yeah.
And we know people around here. So
Yeah.
if we can't get in.
Last year was the first year that we actually had all the spaces reserved to participate before the event happened.
Wow.
Okay.
So, and I would hope that that's going to happen again. So, look forward to it. And of course, you don't have to register to attend. It happens in conjunction with when the city has Art Fiesta over in Old Fort Park. So
Gotcha.
there's a lot going on that weekend. The street will be closed. Canal Street, that is, will be closed. And it's a great activity. We should have about 90 people out, children, adults, professionals, all doing sidewalk chalk art. So it's pretty
awesome.
neat.
It is a sight to see for sure. And then as far as what's the best way for people and that are obviously watching this and in the community to help support the Hub?
Well, we'd love for everybody to be members. That's one way. We certainly accept donations. People that are interested, or people or businesses that are interested in sponsoring either events or music nights or any of those things. Just come out and attend. And if you need a picture or a piece of sculpture for your home or office, come here and check out what we got. So
That's awesome.
Lots and lots of different ways.
All right, great. Anything that we didn't cover that you think we need to cover?
What is it? Yeah, anything else? Yeah, anyone needs to know?
We just
Yeah.
throw out there, our website is thehuboncanal.org because we're a not-for-profit. And you can find on there, a calendar of events, and so you can keep an eye on what's going on. Those of you who know of the Hub know we produce a monthly piece that's everything that's happening in that particular month. There's a downloadable version of that on the website. You can always get it that way, but check us out, and I think you'll be glad you did.
I think so too, and we'll make sure we put a link to that as well. So thank you very much, Richard. We greatly appreciate you and your time and for having us.